Hey guys, how's it going? Um, so we're live. Just starting this really quick. I'm gonna probably wait for a couple of more minutes to see how many people are here. Um, Please, if you actually hear me and see me on the screen in the corner, please give maybe a thumbs up or a hi or anything in the comments. That would be great. That way I know actually that you guys are there and listening, and it's not just me talking to myself. So if you guys can actually, uh, hey Gail, how's it going? Awesome, awesome. I guess I'm live, and which is great. I started using this new software. It's called OBS, which actually allows you not only to stream the screen, but also just you can see me in the corner, which is pretty awesome. Um, so hi everyone. My name is Alex Zotov. I'm actually currently in the U.S. in Atlanta, Georgia, which is pretty far from Marty Kendall, and we would definitely have a lot of fun time communicating with him, because usually it's either very early mornings or very late nights, but still it's a lot of fun, and um, that's just the way it is. One of the I guess my backstory is that I came to the U.S. in 2007. I played sports. I played tennis my whole life, and I got a tennis scholarship to play tennis at Vanderbilt University, which is in Nashville, Tennessee. And after that, I actually did started doing research in neuroscience, and I've been doing that for quite a while, until I sort of decided that I really don't want to pursue PhD. I would rather write code and help people that way. So I switched, and currently I'm sort of working on the medical side of things, in terms of software engineering and helping people with web application, and mobile applications as well. So one of the things, I guess, is I wanted to talk to you about. I know Marty yesterday, he jumped in, and he actually went through his account and things like that. But today I wanted to talk about a couple of things, just the demo, just right from the beginning of when you actually join Nutrient Optimizer, and what are the things that you can expect to see, and what would I do in general to start with Nutrient Optimizer. So let's get it going, shall we? Um, so let me jump right back into the freshly created account on Nutrient Optimizer. And as you see, whenever you sign up, you can actually see this pop-up that first comes up, and it says, congratulations, you're a fat loss boss. And these are sort of the things that Marty and I created in terms of the characters, so you can identify yourself with a certain character. As you can see, I selected the aggressive fat loss. It means that I'm a fat loss boss, and my superpowers is I'm going to maximize nutrient density, as well as maximizing satiety for permanent weight loss. So I'm going to exit out of it. And as you can see, then we start sort of the welcome sequence to walk you through every single step of what you would need to see. And I'm kind of going to be pretty brief about it. So obviously the avatar that we're going to talk later on, the second one that you can earn points and you can sort of gamify the system that we created for you. Obviously the milestones, so we can break down your big goal into small chunks, so later on you don't really feel overwhelmed with the big overarching goal that you might have. Obviously biometrics, you can track biometrics, and I'm going to talk about that as well. And obviously the challenges, the sort of the habit forming challenges that you might go through so you can improve your health and nutrition in general. So let's end the tour here, and obviously there is a congratulations, and it says you're finally done with onboarding, and after that you can find next steps in the section things to do before you start. Right? So that's this section right here, as you can see, things to do before you start. And if I were you, I would actually go ahead and go through them one by one before starting the program, and that's sort of very important. That's why it's here. So let's record the goal weight really quick. I click on record weight, and then I'm gonna record, for example, 180 pounds is my goal. As you can see, automatically it sort of cancels out everything in terms of you're done with this to-do item. Then we're going to move on with a start weight. Let's go ahead and put 200 as a start weight. I'm a pretty big boy, so yeah, 200 is my number. And let's click record. Then the next thing that we're going to go through is add web app to home screen. And what does that mean is that when you click on it, we can see that we sort of displayed a very, very basic idea of how to add the web app to Android. Is basically adding a web page to your home screen. You know, for the Android, you can click on this specific button in your Chrome browser, and for the iPhone, you can click on this sequence for your Safari browser. One of the things that was, I guess, the question came up today was to actually go ahead. You have to be logged in order to add yourself to home screen. Otherwise, again, you're going to add just the login screen onto your home page on your phone, and then you're still not going to be able to do anything with it. We want it to be logged in before you do and go through this sequence. So for this one, I will manually click, and it's going to activate. So I'm done with. Let's assume I'm done with adding the web app to home screen. Then explore food list and recipes. So for each specific goal, there is obviously a specific food list and recipes, and then if you add your chronometer data, we optimize it even more and create even a more precise food list and recipes for you to optimize your health. So let's click on this. As you can see, there is some explanation here, and then when I click on explore food, it goes directly to the recipes, and here you can just go through them, scroll. There are a bunch of pages here that you can go through as well. Obviously you can add stuff to favorites by clicking here on the button here. You can obviously sort things by different items as well. So then let's go back to the summary page. As you can see, it's already a done to-do list, and the only thing we have left is the start your first challenge. So let's try to do that. Here in your first challenge, we just basically, is pretty simple. We explain what it means to start a challenge and what you get when you actually start the challenge. But so this is the basic explanation of things. But then we actually have, we can click on start the new challenge. You're pretty much done with all the things to do before you start. And if you scroll down, you can see that this week, that's the challenge that you have to complete, right? If you want to complete the challenge, you actually go all the way here to the right and you click on this button, and it automatically completes the challenge or completes a day that you recorded it, and it says challenge complete. You're killing it. Keep crushing challenges. For all the challenges, obviously you get points and you get gold coins as well, and we can talk about it later on. So let's go back really quick to the slides and see if I missed anything. And obviously I did miss stuff. And let's start actually back to the avatar, right? That's another thing that people had questions about. And in terms of the avatar, we can go back and let me reload this page really quick. I'm gonna do this really quick. So as you can see, there is an avatar here, plus sign, right? So if you want to add either a picture, or you can create just an animated avatar. I'm not going to create an animated avatar, but you can easily do that by selecting things and just editing your eyes, your face, whatever you want. But for the sake of presentation, I'm going to actually try to add a photo instead. So let me try to add a photo. That's that's sort of a photo that I picked. Day 2 of my diet, and I'm like, I ate the wall. Hopefully you guys are not going to be like that during the January. I really hope so. But you can crop things and you can zoom in and you zoom out. Let me actually do a little zoom on this cute little puppy's face and say crop and upload. And now I have a cute avatar of the dog, which is pretty amazing. So if you go back, there are a couple of more things that I would do. I would obviously record my why, and I would add my first progress picture. So let's go ahead and do that really quick. Where would I find my why? Obviously we have the why in the challenges. So if I let's go back so you know what I did. If you go back to the summary, and on the bottom there is join other challenges and earn more points, I click on that button and then I'm transferred right away to the challenges. I scroll all the way down, and the first psychology challenge is write your why, and we're gonna do that. As you can see, in the beginning you have only 3 challenges per category, but we actually have over 200 challenges, and they will slowly appear with every sort of challenge that you complete. It's sort of very sequential, so you can really go to, for example, monitor your eating habits. It's going to tell you this challenge is locked, you got to learn before you crawl. So you got to do your why first. So let's click on that, and it says click on Tools tab and then my why. And that's how we're sort of going to complete this challenge. Let's start it. let's go back in the summary and actually see if it's here. There it is. So write your why. I'm gonna go to tools, and there is a your why section. I'm gonna click on that, and you can record your why, whatever you feel like your why is. I usually try to get pretty emotional about the why, but it's up to you to decide what your why is and what will keep you going in general. So let's just test it out and see if it works, right? And it does. So it actually recorded your why and everything is good. So we can go back and say we completed this specific challenge. Great. So now we're pretty much done with all the walkthrough. The first step is obviously picking your goal, but I want to come back to that and actually talk about it a little later on, because it's sort of the thing that I wanted. There were a lot of questions about it, how to change my goal and what happens and things like that. So let's go back to the next slide. How to upload chronometer data, and there are definitely a lot of questions about that. And this morning I fixed a lot of bugs regarding the upload functionality, and let's just go through it. I'm going to showcase what you can do with it. The easiest place that you can go to is go to nutrientoptimizer.com/servings. You're going to get to this page, and it's going to walk you through easy steps of what you should do in order to export your data from Chronometer. Right now I'm drinking Monster Energy Zero Ultra. That's actually our mutual passion for Marty and I. We're both obsessed with that drink. I'm not sure why, but it just tastes very good. So let's go ahead and read through this. Logging into Chronometer, click on Profile, click on Export Data, select Date Range, and then click Export Servings. Right, so let's go ahead to Chronometer. This is not my account, this is Marty's account. But I sort of changed things here so you can't really see his friends, and you can't really see his email address and credit card information and stuff like that. So we click on a profile, and then afterwards there is this button here. You click on it, and there is obviously export data functionality in Chronometer. And we're gonna just export the last 7 days in the beginning, and we're gonna export servings for now, and then I'll explain later what else you can do. So we click on Export Servings. It's downloaded here on the right with your browser, and once it's exported, I want to go back to my platform, and as you can see, there is this green button right in the middle. It basically takes care of all entry points for the data, whether it's biometrics, Chronometer data, and then we're going to be adding other things, connecting Fitbit and other things like that. So I click on that, and we have biometrics, exercise, and Chronometer data. Here there is sort of an easy access to that servings article that I showed you earlier. So you click on choose file, and then we have the servings that was exported, right? And we click on that, and we click on plus Chronometer data. processes, and then we have this transfers back to the screen. So how can we see whether actually the data was uploaded, right? So we wanna know that it was successful. So the first place what you can do is that obviously you can go to your nutrition fingerprint. You can click on it, and then you're gonna see that yes, everything was successfully imported, and you're gonna get this beautiful report. You can obviously go back and see the days, and you can click on the days and update your dates. Everything is here. It looks like Marty is doing pretty well. I'm proud of him. But then obviously there are other places where you can what you can do. So here you go back to the main page. You go back to the insights, and here we have the micronutrients part. Obviously, these are exactly the same things that you would find in your report. You also have the diet analysis for these 6 days, right? The best and the worst day. And we have obviously the macronutrients and Marty's ranges in terms of that. So that's pretty much how you add data to Chronometer. And it's pretty simple. Right now, there are a couple of things that I added to Chronometer Data Export, and which is pretty simple. Right now, you can actually export not only your servings, but your daily summaries as well. And also, you can, if there are any gaps in the data, it will also import into Nutrient Optimizer, even though some people just sort of untick in the platform in Chronometer a couple of nutrients, and they end up missing a couple of nutrients. So if at any point in your micronutrient you're actually having 0 here anywhere, right, it might be because that you haven't really selected all the micronutrient in your Chronometer profile. And we can talk about it later. So let's go back to the next slide. So what actually happens when I change my goal? So Nutrient Optimizer platform in general is sort of like a collection of nutrition programs, right? So we divide it, right now the platform is divided into very specific goals, and they're very broad, and we're going to be adding new goals sooner or later. But every single goal is actually a nutrition program. So whenever you switch from one nutrition program to another, we obviously reset a couple of things. So for whenever you switch to a new program, whether you switch from weight loss to weight loss and blood sugar, or for example, you were in therapeutic ketosis and you're switching to nutritional ketosis, or diabetes management, right? We reset all your goal-specific challenges. So every program has sort of their own sets of challenges, especially in this section right here. And the main challenges are goal-specific. Then we reset your goal and start biometrics. So remember earlier I was recording here everything and things to do, the start biometric and a goal biometric. If you switch to a new program, it's going to come up again, and you're going to have to redo your start and goal biometrics so we can update the milestones and we can start your new program. For obviously, for every single goal, we identify the most nutrient dense foods just within the range of with the metabolic range that you are actually currently at. So whenever you switch your goal, the recommended foods are going to switch and the recipes are going to switch as well, because they're optimized not only for you and to cover your nutritional gaps, but also specifically for your metabolic health and where you are in terms of your health. So basically, in tools and optimal foods and optimal recipes, they're going to be different, right? And they're going to be constantly also updating whenever you update your chronometer data, if you want to do so. The platform does not require you to have chronometer data at all. Later, you won't be able to change the goal yourself. Right now, it's still in the works, and Marty and I sort of discussing it. But you know, we want to identify for you what goal you're working on, and then you're going to be actually graduating from that specific goal. So if you're starting, for example, with weight loss and blood sugar control, you lose weight and you improve your blood sugar, then we actually want to graduate you into the next program, which is going to be aggressive weight loss, right? Or if you're already satisfied with your weight, we might graduate you into bodybuilding, right? Or whatever your goal next is, but Nutrient Optimizer will graduate you to the next goal that you might want to achieve. So let's go to the next slide. So how to work with biometrics. So let's go through this really quick, and I sort of showed you how to do it and what to do, but a lot of people get confused of how to record different biometrics and things like that. So first of all, what I would do if you're confused, in every single section there is sort of the info. You can either hover over it, or if you're mobile, you can click on it, right? And there is some information on it. So if I want to record weight, right, I can record weight here, but also, as you can see, there is a drop down menu, right? So I can record whatever biometric from that point as I want, not necessarily weight. There is also a set of recommended biometrics here as well. So for every single goal, there is a set of recommended biometrics that we want you to record. Not they're required to be recorded, but it's sort of optimal to record those, and they're always going to be on top and say recommended. So we want to record the weight, for example. You can select the date. It automatically defaults to today's date. But if you want to record back somewhere, you can do that as well. So let's actually record for yesterday, right? And let's select the weight, 201, right? And let's click record. And as you can see right here, the green thing, it indicates that you actually recorded the weight and you're done recording for that day. If you want to record multiple weigh-ins per day, that's fine as well. So what if I actually recorded here on 27th, 201, and I say, I don't really weigh 201. Let's see what I can do. So here on the right, there is an edit link for all the biometrics. So I can click on the edit button, and it automatically should go somewhere good. Somehow it's not really going anywhere. I'm not sure why, but if not, what you can do is that you can go to Tools, and then you can go to History. I'm forgetting everything myself. You can go to Insights and then History, and there is going to be all biometrics here. We just recorded the weight, right, to 1 on 27th, and we can delete it. So if we delete the weight, we're gonna go back. I'm gonna go back home, and you're actually gonna find out that it's not there anymore. So that's the way to sort of add it and delete. But again, if you don't feel comfortable recording from this specific button, which is fine as well, you can click on this green button here, and then you can click on biometrics and record from here, whatever measurement you want to record. Right? So let's go back. Oh, I forgot to talk about biometric insights, right? So here, for example, we recorded, let's record the weight again for today, 200, record, and then let's go to Insights and check out actually what was recorded. And here, obviously, I recorded only one, so there's going to be only one recording here, 200, on that specific date, on 12/28, right? But the graph is going to show later on the more you record as well. So then let's go back to the last slide that we have, which is sort of, let's talk about the initial weigh-in and the blood sugar. So obviously we don't want to have the deadline for official weigh-ins, right? Why is that? Is that if if you start later, you just sort of have less time to actually complete the challenge. So you can start on the last day, we don't really care. But preferably, we would want you to weigh in before the January 2nd. How it's going to work is that your initial weigh-in, whether for blood glucose or for your weight, should be recorded with the specific code that we're going to give you, and sort of the style that other people have. So you would put a picture of your weight, and you record it here within the tools progress. You're gonna take a picture and you're gonna put it here, and we only need the sort of the beginning, the start weight, and obviously the end weight. And we're gonna obviously track the whole 6 weeks of people who might be going too fast and might be cheating the system. And if they do, we're just gonna request for additional information and additional picture of their weight. So that's how it's gonna work. But in general, I think if you guys have any other questions or concerns or anything like that, we're going to be doing lives, for the next until the challenge starts. And I hope this has been pretty helpful for you. Let me go and scroll through the questions. It looks like Marty is answering a lot of the questions. Yeah, so Marty is right. So you can actually only export Chronometer from your computer currently. You can't really do it from their mobile app, which is kind of annoying. But again, we're currently working on implementing their API. We partner with Chronometer, and right now we get only the macronutrients, just the basic stuff, but we're actually in the process of talking to them to get the daily summary So we actually get the whole micronutrient profile for people, so we can update their foods and recipes consistently every single day, sort of on the basis of their gaps. So let's look at more questions. Can you record several biometrics each day? Yes, you can record as many times as you want if you weigh in multiple times, if you do measure your blood glucose multiple times, you can definitely do whatever you want to do as many times as you want, and it's going to be reflected in the graphs as well. Let's see. So there's another question: what if we take supplements which are in Chronometer? You can definitely take supplements. We're not against supplements. Actually, in fact, if you go and upload your data and look at your nutrition fingerprint, right, we recommend supplements, right? And why we do that is that even though we understand that supplements is not an optimal way of doing things, but at the same time, if you're starting your journey of nutrition optimization, supplements is sort of the easy way to go while you're catching up on optimal foods that you're eating, which is absolutely fine. And you can find your recommended supplements here in your nutrition fingerprint, or you can also actually do the same thing in the insights as well, I think, from what I remember, but yeah, so you can do it only from the nutrition fingerprint. And then I have one more question. Can I use an earlier 7 days of data from Chronometer, as I did not record the 3 days in the past week? We can sort of provide a good, I would say, first of all, I guess, to understand, we really don't need your Chronometer data, right? So that's the first thing that I want people to understand, is that whenever you select your specific eating pattern, we actually predict. So right here, right, in the low carb, I have a train coming, so I apologize for all the noise here. So while everyone's diet is different, various eating patterns tend to have different nutrient profiles and deficiencies, right? So what that means is that whenever you select your current eating pattern, and right now we have only 5, right? We actually predict your micronutrient profile, because even though, if you're eating low carb, there is a very great chance that you're missing specific nutrients. So that way we're actually predicting your nutritional gaps before recording your Chronometer data. But if you actually want to record your Chronometer data, it will give obviously more precision in terms of your, I guess, actual micronutrient gaps, and then we optimize that as well. But we accept 1 day of Chronometer data. I would recommend to record for 4 to 7 days. Why? Because that usually whatever people eat for 1 week, chances are actually 76% chances that they're going to eat the same thing the next week, because we're creatures of habit. So that's sort of the idea. But I would start with a couple of days, and then obviously you can add as much chronometer data as you want later on, and your food list and recipes are going to be updating as well. For your blood glucose, right now we don't really sort of differentiate, even though there are categories in the blood glucose, right? As you can see from here. So let's go with blood glucose. Obviously there are categories: before, after meal, and waking. On the graphs currently we don't differentiate before, after, and waking, so probably the best thing would be to actually record just the waking blood glucose, and we can start with that. And Marty probably can add on that as well, but I would start with waking glucose. If obviously if you're trying to just stabilize your blood sugar and you're not you don't have sort of a full-blown diabetes, and you're not in diabetes management program. So let's see any other comments. When logging into phone screen, I can't seem to get to the main screen without putting in my food questionnaire ratings, but what if I don't want to rate it yet? I can skip the weight. So that sequence, that's sort of a required sequence every single day. If you don't want to rate it yet, I would just sort of the first day I would put in whatever you want to put in, but we might update that as well at some point. Maybe people are going to be able to skip that as well, but you would definitely want to record your food questionnaire throughout the journey, because that's also one of the ways we optimize your macronutrients for smart macros. Another question is, how can I tell what my eating pattern is? If you don't know what your eating pattern is, the chances are you are on a Western diet eating pattern. So if I chose standard Western diet, wouldn't I still want to keep carbs somewhat low? So whenever you choose sort of the eating pattern, again, that it does not mean that your foods are going to be that specific for that specific eating pattern. It just means that that's how you used to eat, and these are your nutritional gaps. And we're gonna, based on the nutritional gaps from your previous eating pattern, we're gonna identify the foods that you need, and the foods are actually going to be optimized for your specific goal. So you say, also Vicky is saying, I want to rate later in the day, but not in the beginning of the day for the start sequence. So it actually, as Marty pointed out, that's sort of a later on, right? It asks you, how did you do yesterday? So that's a standard sort of 24-hour recall of how you did in terms of your nutrition from yesterday. Okay, it looks like we've been on for quite a while, 45 minutes almost. Again, guys, we're going to be doing this again tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. There are definitely a lot of people who are signing up and playing with the platform. I hope that this one was very helpful, and I will talk to you guys later, and thank you so much again for everything, for such a great support and so much feedback and questions. We're really enjoying this, and hopefully it's going to help a lot of people. All right, I'm tuning out, and talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.